Hello everyone and welcome to my Brock Turner analysis. Well, the People versus Brock Turner analysis rather. This will be part one and we'll be examining why the case made so many people angry, and why some of us are still angry, and why this case was a fuck up from the start. So, if you don't know who Brock Turner is, last summer the United States, if not the world, depending on how much coverage you got, was introduced to Brock Allen Turner, a former Stanford student and athlete. He was found one night in 2015 sexually assaulting and raping a girl behind a dumpster near a fraternity. Two Swedish PhD students saw him, and he saw them, got up and ran, and they tackled him. Well, one tackled him and held him until police arrived. So, Brock Turner was brought to trial. He was given only 6 months in jail, but got out on 3 on good behavior. And the presiding judge was Judge Aaron Persky, who was a Stanford alumni himself. And after Judge Persky sentenced Brock, people lost their shit, where Persky asked to be moved to reviewing civil cases because he couldn't take the heat, so he got out of the kitchen. Now, we're mad because, well, there are several reasons. One is they never initially released Brock's mugshot. They released nice, clean-cut pictures of him from, like, his senior portraits, his yearbooks, things that made him look like an upstanding citizen. Also, people would, well, not people, rather, tabloid newspapers were reporting his swim times along with his wrongdoings, I guess you could say. He also shows no remorse and no accountability for what he did. It is like the affluenza teen. He doesn't know better, so you can't fault him. His mother also never acknowledged the victim or acknowledged that what her son did was wrong. Neither did his father. And his father also coined the famous line, 20 minutes of action, to describe a sex crime. Also, people are mad because Dan Turner and Brock Turner blamed binge drinking, sexual promiscuity, and the victim, basically. There was nothing like, I did something wrong, and I'm gonna take responsibility for my actions. It was the alcohol and the clothes. It was the epitome of victim blaming if I've ever seen it. People are also mad because I'm trying to think of how to explain it and be nice about it. Do I have to be nice? I mean, he's a rapist, do I have to? No. Because he sat there and he lied. Like the sack of shit he is. Oh, the team had no limit on drinking and partying. That's not exactly true. Or, oh, I never partied with alcohol. That's not true. Brock Turner got up on the stand and lied, and because the victim was so drunk she couldn't remember stuff, where the defense let Brock just fill in the blanks, and Brock could say whatever the hell he wanted. Just because you take an oath in court does not mean you always tell the truth. So, people are really angry now. Anonymous declared war on Brock Turner when they heard about it. And protesters actually gathered outside his house. Now, Brock Turner lives in Ohio, so he has to register as a sex offender in Ohio. And when he was released from jail, he went back to his home in Bell Rock, Ohio. I have his sex offender registry up, in case you're wondering why I looked down. So, people stood outside his house. Ohio is an open carry state, which means you can carry a gun on you if you have a carry permit. So, people stood outside his house with their open carry permits in full effect with signs. We have one man that says castrate rapists. We also have someone else who says the rapist who lives here only got 3 months. Justice. There's also sidewalk chalk in big capital letters that says rapist with an arrow pointing towards his house. And that is not all. There are and then there are some people just standing there holding their guns. More sidewalk chalk. Our kids shouldn't have to fear Oakwood sons. Don't defend rapists. And then there is one more that we'll get to that I love, but there's one that says, you should be ashamed. Let only pain and misery fall upon those who rape their fellow person. Real Olympians don't rape. And by far my favorite that I've seen, that is the widely broadcasted one, if you look up protesters about Brock Turner, says, if I rape Brock, will I only do 3 months? So as you can tell, people were extremely upset. People are also mad because while he was on trial, it was shown that he laughed after bystanders stopped his sexual assault. He also ran. If you're not guilty, why'd you run? So that's the gist of it. That's why we're still mad, because there's so much that came to light that we didn't know about. So he is on the Ohio Sex Offender Registry, and he has to register every 3 months for the rest of his life. And if you'd like to know all his offenses according to the registry, it is 220A1, assault with intent to commit rape, sodomy, oral copulation, or any violation of 264.1, 288, or 289. And these are other sexual offenses. 289E is sexual penetration with a foreign object, victim drugged. 289D, sex penetration with a foreign object, victim unaware of nature of act. So these are all things he did. Now, if you'd like his information to look him up on the registry, I don't want you guys going and attacking him, tracking him down, and standing outside his house. This is to protect yourselves so you know why he's so dangerous. If you would like his information, I will give you his name, his registry number, and that's it. So if you go and look up Ohio sex offenders, his full name is Brock Allen Turner, and his registration number is 2365255. There you will find his age, sex, race, hair, height, weight, eyes, all descriptions you can use to identify him if you were to come across him or you want to keep your kids or your family or yourself safe. So, there's another reason why people are mad is because Brock Turner is scared for his life and was for quite a while after he returned home to Bell Rock. And it wasn't just Brock, but his family too, his parents, they said. Turner's family tells police they fear for their son's safety. Months of armed anonymous protesters and others have swarmed their house on several occasions. They ask cops to help them deal with protesters and others who might do him harm. That's what TMZ reported. Law enforcement in Ohio told TMZ they're tracking social media to monitor any threatening activity, whether it be from Sugar Creek Township residents, many of whom are unhappy about a sex offender in their hood, to angry outsiders. Now, I think Brock should be scared. The terror and PTSD and flashbacks one can experience from rape is nothing compared to you being afraid of people who are not going to shoot you in front of a bunch of witnesses, even if they agree that you deserve to be shot. They don't seem to understand, and by they I mean the Turner family, they don't seem to understand that what goes around comes around. Karma exists and repercussions exist. You have to take responsibility for your actions. And if you were so scared for your life from these protesters, well, what actions led to this? And I think if they did some basic thinking, if they rubbed those two brain cells together, they understand that what their son did has consequences. But that's just me. I mean, what do I know? The last reason we're kind of angry is Brock Turner on Twitter. I don't follow Brock, but I do keep an eye on him, and he is one big shitbag. The last time he posted was on 4/10/17, where he wished everyone a happy Passover. He also said back in April that the old me would have been hyped for National Beer Day, but I've made strides and changes. He also retweets things from Love Like Jesus, God's Daughters, Epic Women, Inspirational Women, and Donald Trump. That's quite the cocktail right there, if you ask me. So, I have tweeted at Brock Turner more than once. But, as you'll see, if you go to his Twitter, he supported Donald Trump. And I'm sure if he voted for Donald Trump. Because rapists of a feather flock together, I guess. So, here is the thing. Brock tweeted pretty often, but people would come and say things and he just act like a little cocky son of a bitch. And I'm gonna find you guys a good example. So, let's do the one from National Beer Day. Someone commented, how does someone who rapes an unconscious person ever change? He didn't have the balls to reply to that. So this time it will be your fault and not hers. And someone made a hashtag National Put Brock in Prison Day. Now, Brock Turner is a thing. He's certainly interesting because someone tweeted at him, and I'm not exactly sure what they tweeted because it may have been deleted, but Brock's replies to it are still there. And Brock Turner said, God bless. And someone said, you can't legitimately think you're going to heaven, right? You're a fucking monster, dude. Brock Turner also, when 2017 rolled around, he was like, New Year, praying for new beginnings. These are things that seem to confirm that he doesn't take accountability for what he did. He feels he did nothing wrong. Um, he's just like, hey, whatever. God bless. He also, there's no way he can be having a job right now because he said in his letter to Judge Aaron Persky that employment opportunities were basically out the window. So I'm thinking Brock Turner is sitting at home in Bell Rock, kind of just watching TV. I know he was all over Twitter during the Olympics, especially the swimming parts, and supporting Michael Phelps. Please don't take the one good thing in Baltimore away from us, Brock. I'm begging you. He was all over the Olympics. So he has to be sitting at home doing almost nothing, maybe yelling at their landscaper because he missed the spot when he mowed the lawn. But people are mad because this was just a fuckfest from the start. You couldn't release a mugshot. A judge presiding over the case went to Stanford and was like Brock himself. You know, scholarship, able-bodied, very smart, something that maybe just gave a little edge and favoritism to the case. He ignored the recommended sentencing for Brock, and then he was like, I want to be put on civil cases because I maybe did a bad. My bad, guys. This case was a was a clusterfuck from the start, and we're still looking at repercussions. Brock didn't take accountability. He's maybe faded, but people still hear those words. 20 minutes of action, probation, 3 months, 6 months, recommended sentencing, 14 years. These are all things that should have happened and didn't. And this is why we're mad, because people like me who've been raped, sodomized, people who have been sexually assaulted, people who have felt this pain and gone through it are appalled. Because some of us never got to see our rapists put where they belong, behind bars. And Brock was put in a county jail. He was not sent into general population where they would have owned his ass. He was asking for protection in jail when he got home. He didn't understand that you have to face the consequences of what happens when you rape someone. Everyone's mad because nothing in this case went right when it came to light last year. So, just take that in. If you have any reasons why you think this case is a clusterfuck and a half, please let me know and I'll make an update. I'll also make an update if Brock ever tweets back at me, which I highly doubt. But if he does, oh, glory be. So, this is part 1. If you have any other ideas why this case was doomed from the start, please let me know, and I will see you all in part 2, where we discuss why drugs probably played a really big role in the Brock Turner case.